Hello, hello, welcome friends. I am so happy you're here today. This is Patty Bennett. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and today we are starting a new series of technique classes. So here you see our very first handout that will be available on my blog on October 22nd. So pattystamps.com on October 22nd. You can download this. You'll be able to see all of the samples that I'm sharing today on my blog posts this weekend, and you will be able to watch the replay. So if you're joining me live, then you have found me at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Friday, October 21st. If you're watching at any other time, then you are watching a replay. So either way, welcome. And if you're new, please let me know just so that I can give you a little, hello, shout out, welcome, first timer. I do see so many people already saying hello and good morning. Hi, everybody. Hello, Denise, Juanita, Tammy, Mary, Roxanne, Susie, Lynn, Brooke. Oh, how wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. If you're watching that replay that I just mentioned, please feel free to skip ahead a couple of minutes because I am going to just let everybody find the live for about the next 60 seconds or so. So again, if you're watching a replay, welcome. Oh, by the way, if you're watching a replay and you have a question, please use hashtag replay and then ask your question. And that way I can find it later when I go back and look over questions on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Judy, Wendy, Carol, Janet, Christine, Debbie, Annette, Linda, Tanya. Oh, so many people just jumped on. Hi, Colleen. Hello, Lynn. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for finding me here and for joining in. Oh, from Nova Scotia. That is amazing. Thank you. All right. So I think we are officially at the top of the hour, and I will go ahead and just reintroduce myself and tell you what we're up to today. My name is Patty Bennett. That's me right there. I blog at pattystamps.com, and I am a demonstrator for Stampin' Up. So you will see me using Stampin' Up products in my videos and my posts and my blog posts, and you can purchase any of those through my blog, or you can always go to pattystamps.com//shop and find my store that way. So I always appreciate it when you purchase your products from me if you don't have another demonstrator. And we are starting a new series today. I'm really excited. So it's a series of technique classes. This is the first one. I'm hoping to do 10 or 12. So we'll see how that goes, kind of carry us through the end of 2022. Our technique today is called rock and roll. And it's not music. Don't worry, I'm not singing. I'm not playing an instrument. You may remember a couple weeks ago, I showed you, look how thick this book is. This was a book that I did when I did in-person classes, my technique book. And it has tons and tons of techniques that we did in our classes. And today we are going to be revisiting this rock and roll technique. So you can see back I don't even know, I should have dated these. Wouldn't that have been wonderful? But we used the large daisy stamp, and you can see how it gives you a two-tone effect on your image. So that's what we are going to be looking at today. And I have the basic directions. This one's very easy, so it just has a couple of steps. So I have these basic directions and a sample, and then links to everything that you might need on this handout. This will be a free PDF on my blog tomorrow. So 10/22/22, pretty easy to remember. On pattystamps.com, you'll be able to download this. And then if you want to kind of just participate each week by trying these out or collecting these and putting them in a binder or just saving the PDF, you can do that. And then you'll have this whole series of free instruction sheets from me. Hi, Tracy, Bonnie, Fern, Marcy, Donna, Kathy. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining in. So happy to see you all. So I kind of debated on how to make the flow of this work. And I think the easiest thing for me is to teach you live on Fridays like we always do. And then Saturday and Sunday will be the posts with all of the samples, and the instruction sheet will be linked at that time. So that's how we're going to do it. We are going to use the Cottage Wreath stamp set today. And we're basically concentrating on this image as well as some of the other littler pieces. So I'll show you that. And if you can stick around towards the end, you're going to see what I did when I incorporated the wreath dies into this rock and roll technique. So it's kind of a little bonus. It's a little deviation, but I think you're going to like the projects. So I decided that it would be fun to kind of do 4 seasons with this Cottage Wreath stamp. So here we have kind of the more spring colors with some little flower embellishments. Isn't that cute? And gingham paper, very springy. And then for summer, I did a red, white, and blue theme, even with the blue on the envelope flap there. Isn't that a cute combination? And I did red and blue embellishments. So this one, if you're in the US, you're familiar with 4th of July, with our Independence Day holiday, and the theme is always red, white, and blue. So for people in the US, we kind of equate this, let's say, with summer and picnics and family gatherings and fireworks and 4th of July. But really, this could be any time of the year, any celebration. And then for a fall card, I did this one with some fall colors, and you are such a blessing, and some fall paper. So I'll go over these in detail, but I just kind of want to give you, you know me, the roadmap. I like to show you where we're headed, and then I show you how we got there. So here's our fall card, and then here is a very simple version for Christmas with red and green and a Merry Christmas greeting. So if you noticed, as I was showing you these, oh, thank you. I'm seeing hearts and thumbs up. You are all so sweet. Yes, Cindy, right. We are not letting those older resources go to waste. Mary is asking what set. It's the Cottage Wreath set. So we're concentrating on this stamp and a couple of the other pieces for these cards. And then if you can stick around towards the end, I'm going to show you bonus cards that incorporate the actual dies to make it kind of a 2-layer sort of. I'll show you that though. Oh, welcome, Barb. She says, first time watching. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, good. Joanne likes the roadmap first. You're welcome, Mary. Yeah, I like the roadmap. I need the roadmap. That's just me. I'm Patty Planner. That's my nickname. So if you noticed, as I showed you these, do you see how there's kind of a 2-tone effect, a lighter and a darker? So lighter and darker with the green, with the fall colors, with the bright green, and this actually is similar with bright greens. So that's the effect that we're going to go for, and I'm going to show you how I achieved this amazing look. And it's really so super simple that I think you're just going to love this. I'll show you just a few little pieces that I've done, and we might even just go ahead and use one of these. So there you kind of get an overview without all the little embellishments on the card, and it kind of shows you that feeling of all those different color combinations. All right, so I think let's do the fall one. So let's kind of look at this one, and I have just pre-cut some white, basic white cardstock. I think what I did, if I'm not mistaken, yeah. So let me measure this and tell you what it is. Oh, and by the way, Tammy, if you're watching, we were chatting the other day about a T-square. This T-square is from Amazon. I think if you just look up plastic T-square or something like that, T-square ruler maybe, you'll find it. However, this was 12 inches long, and I rarely need to measure things on my desk or use it for drawing lines or whatever more than 6 or 7 inches. So my husband just cut it with I don't know what kind of a tool he used to cut plastic, but he cut it down for me to 7 inches. So if you're looking for this on Amazon or anywhere, I think maybe even Staples might have one, and you're thinking, well, I can't find a short one. It's cut, and maybe he scored it with an X-Acto and snapped it. I don't know. I'll have to ask him. But anyway, that's what this is. So I use it a lot for measuring. So 3 by 3.5 is what I cut this to, and there's no magic number there. You can use whatever size you want, and I really like it when it's stamped on a die cut piece as well. So, whatever you'd like to do, but we're going to just use that 3 by 3.5 to start with. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Pam. Hi, Shar. Welcome, everyone. So glad that you're all here. So we are going to start out with Cajun Craze and pumpkin pie. And I always use my lightest color first, which between these two is pumpkin pie. And then we'll do the actual rock and roll part in the darker color, which for this one is Cajun Craze. So our stamp is this piece. Oh, we have a bonus little tag along piece there. So there's our stamp from the Cottage Wreath set, and inking it into the lighter color pumpkin pie. In fact, let me just show you. I'll just show you what that looks like, just pumpkin pie. So there's just pumpkin pie, because I think this is a good comparison. But for the rock and roll technique, which is our class today, you ink it up thoroughly in the lighter color, and then I'm going to rock it on the darker color. But I don't want to be super precise. So as I'm rocking it, do you see how I'm kind of like skipping and dabbing? I don't want it to be like this harsh, dark line. So again, I'll just show you that. Just sort of hop, skip, and a jump there around the outside. And then when we stamp, look at that. How extremely beautiful is that? And look at the difference. I mean, it's gorgeous just in the pumpkin pie, but look at that difference. I hope it's showing up well on camera, because I think it's like magical. It's like the first time you see heat embossing, and the first time you see this, it's just like, oh my gosh, that is just so cool. All right, cleaning off that stamp, because I think we'll probably move to green after this. But then what I did, so you'll notice this looks a little different here. We have some extra little sprigs. So I decided to mount this little stamp image from the Cottage Wreath set. And I'm going to actually take it in the lighter color, which is our pumpkin pie. And I'm just extending that wreath a little, just to make it a little bit bigger and to give a little extra color around the outside. That's optional, but I think that's really pretty, and I like how it made it a little bigger. Now I got it a little lopsided there, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to try to ink one of those and just sort of give it a little extra right there, so it kind of pulled that in and made it a little more cohesive. Not that anybody would have seen that, but my eye just was drawn to that. So that's kind of an extra step that you can do. And I think, let me see if I did it on any of these. I might have done it on a different, on this one, I actually used that same little stamp around the inside. So not only did I make it bigger, but I brought the center in a little bit. So there's a lot you can do with all of these pieces. And the other thing you can do is use this piece, and let's see what this looks like. Let's see if I do it in dark. I may regret this, but it's only paper. Let's see what that looks like. If you go around the outside. Well, it's a totally different look, isn't it? It almost looks like a wheat sort of a, right? Like, I don't know, maybe. Does that make any sense? What do I know? I don't know anything about wheat. I don't know why I said that. But you know what I mean. Look at that. We could just keep going, and we could keep going, and we could just make this full of different colors if we wanted to. Wow, look at that. Well, that's fun. My goodness. I hope you all don't think I'm like crazy, but I think it's just fun to play. It's just paper, right? It's just paper. So what do you think? Oh yeah, okay, Patty says the little sprigs add so much. Mary says, I love that. Patricia says, pretty. Yes, Christmas cards, Mary. I don't know if you tuned in at the beginning. Maybe, I think you said you missed the beginning, but here was the really easy Christmas card, and we'll go over that one as well. But I just wanted to start out with this one for fall to show you that idea. And then I've got this stamp called You Are Such a, well, it's not called, it says You Are Such a Blessing. It's from Hello Harvest, and I thought this was a really lovely way to just sort of finish off down here for this fall card. And then the bows that I used, I die cut. Let me show you. This is so pretty. I don't know if you all have this paper. It's a 6x6 pack, and it's called Gold and Rose Gold paper. And you can see it has this really beautiful metallic shimmer, but look at these really cool lines that are in it. So this is the rose gold, this is the gold. And so I die cut a whole bunch of bows from, so the actual dies are called Country Wreath, but it's part of the bundle. And I can see my bow kind of slip down here. The bow is right here in that set, but it's part of the Cottage Wreath bundle. And then gold looks really pretty, but so does the rose gold. I love them both. I think either. I think, well, since we did this one in rose gold, what if we try that one in just the gold? What do you think? I like it. I think either way completely works. Do you have an opinion on that? Thanks, Tracy. Thanks, Linda. Thank you, Margaret, Judy. Thank you, everybody. Christina, my goodness, thank you. I'm like running out of breath because you all... Oh, good. Thank you. Tammy says she likes the fuller one because it looks like a wow. I think it's gorgeous. I really love it. I really love it. Maybe we'll do the... I think I'll save that one for that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, that's what we'll do. So we'll just go ahead and do the gold on here. And I am just going to use, I think I'll just use, sorry for my reach, my seal. But let me grab my silicone mat. So I'm just going to do this. I don't want to get my grid paper all gluey. So we'll add that. And then I loved these little, what are they called? Rustic metallic dots. They are kind of the perfect fall addition, I think, for this. So we are going to add those. But let me show you how I did this card. I feel like I'm getting too much stuff right here. Please hold while I clear it out. Oh, and I have to show you these dots. Did you notice the dots on here? This is something that is really fun. You can take either a regular marker or a Stampin' Blends marker. Either one totally works. And you can pull off the cap, and then you kind of flick like this. So I'm like inside the cap and I'm flicking down, and you get some really cool little speckles. I think it looks really cool. So it's just kind of a fun little way to add a little extra. But these cards that we're using are from this package, and it is a craft note card and envelope pack. Craft note card and envelope. Oh, yeah, that's what it's called. You get 20 cards and 20 envelopes, and then this big piece in the back is actually a box. Hang on, I thought I had the box out. Well, please hold, because I thought it was right there. And it must have gotten buried. So the box comes in two pieces, a base and a lid, and you can decorate it while it's flat and then just pop it together. It's very easy to put together, just a little bit of adhesive on the tabs, and it's not difficult at all to put together. So it's kind of a bonus, you know, not only do you get the cards and envelopes, but you get a box. So if you want to make a set of these, then it's a really nice little gift. But what I did for these cards, just to add a tiny bit of interest, was I used my trimmer and I just cut off, some days words are difficult, I cut off 1 inch from the front, and save that because you can stamp on that and do a little flagged end and give that a greeting, and that can always be on another card. So the front flap has 1 inch removed, so it's shorter. So this piece is going to go on here, and then for a little interest in there, I just pre-cut a whole bunch of strips, all different designer paper. This is a great way to use up scraps of all different patterns, and decided what I wanted to put inside. Happened to my fall print. It was here. So we could use this inside. That would be pretty. The print I used on this one was this, and it is from the Celebrate Everything Host set of paper, and that's the print I put right here. But I know I had a strip of it for this card. You know, if any of you do live videos, I know that you can sympathize with me, and you know what my desk looks like right now. And to find anything is pretty crazy. So we'll use this paper because this will look pretty and fallish. This is from Rustic Harvest. So I'm cutting it 1 inch by 5 to put on the inside. And I'll catch up on comments in just a minute because I was really concentrating on whatever happened to my paper. Oh, that's a new glue. That's a lot of glue. Yikes. I had to grab a new glue this morning because I made a dozen cards with that new flowering florets, and it had a ton of layering and tons of pieces. Like every card had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces to it. So there was a lot of layering, and I had to use up a lot of glue. So then we're going to put this piece on, and of course only adding adhesive over here so that we don't glue the whole thing shut, because that can happen. Ask me how I know that. This is a super, super simple design. This is not meant to be extra fancy or anything, just very simple, very easy. You can make lots of these very quickly. You could dress it up even more if you wanted to, but I wanted something that would be kind of quick if you were mass producing for the holidays or for anything for that matter. But I thought that just keeping them very simple like this would be really an easy way to create a pretty card. So there you go. That's rock and roll technique with the fall colors. I like it with that yellow. What do you think? I think that turned out really pretty. Either way, works beautiful. And I will finish up this one. Tammy says she loves that one, so I'll definitely finish that one. And then let's look at the green. Let's do the bright greens first. So let's look at that one. And that I did a spring version and the summer version with the lighter, brighter greens. So we'll do that next. Let's see. Hang on. Let me just scroll back. And Yeah, messy desk. Thank you, Gail. Oh, good, Nell. Thanks, Kelly. Oh, Mary, I just showed that. The bow is in the die set. So I showed you, it just kind of slipped down there. It's right here. So it's in the Country Wreath dies, which is the bundle for this stamp set. So it's right there. I'm sorry you missed that. Let me show you in the catalog. I know sometimes it's just kind of easier to see in the catalog. So in the holiday catalog, page 58 and 59 is where you'll find this. And that's the bundle I'm using. So don't forget 10% off when you do the bundle. But if you want just the set or just the dies, you can also do that. So let's do a bright green so I can show you that. And really any greens, whatever greens you have, whatever you'd like to use. I'm going to do a lighter one first, and then we'll do a darker one. So between Parakeet Party and Granny Apple, Parakeet is the lighter and Granny Apple is darker. So I'll show you that rock and roll real quick and how pretty that turns out. So stamp it in the lighter, rock and roll in the darker, but remember we're kind of like hop, skip, and a jump around there. We don't want a super harsh, dark and light definition. So there you go. That is Parakeet Party and Granny Apple Green, light and dark. So pretty. And a little tip here. One thing I did when I was adding these little pieces around, so wherever it was pretty dark, I added these little sprigs with the lighter green. So you had light, dark, light. But then like right over here where it didn't get as much dark, then I did those sprigs in the darker color to kind of even out the lights and the darks. So that's just a little tip. You can take it or leave it. You can add this step or skip it either way. But I think it turns out really pretty when you have all these lights and darks happening. And you can see that right here. The lighter ones on the outside and then the darker ones down here. But it's a fun way to kind of enhance that rock and roll look. So that's the green. Oh, and then let me show you this. This stamp is also in the set. And if you wanted to add this just sort of as an extra little layer, it looks almost more like branches. And I think what I'm going to do is go even one step darker. Let's see how garden green looks. This might be too dark and we might say, meh, but you know, you don't, oh yeah, it's kind of dark. Yeah, that's pretty dark. But I think this could work. I think this could be really pretty. I think there's a lot you could do with that. I think maybe these little leaves added to it. Let's just see. What if we kind of gave it a tiny bit of rock and roll in the dark one? Yeah. So lighter, a little bit of rock and roll in the dark one. Light one. I know. And if you're cringing because I'm not cleaning it, it's all right. Don't worry. It'll live. These colors are really close. Just going to do one more right there. So there you go. You can add so much to this. It's kind of like a builder set. We're just building on it. So you can just keep going. So that was the first step, and then adding the little sprigs, and then adding that twiggy kind of a look, and then adding the little leaf. So lots you can do with this. That's really fun. I love how versatile this is. Let's put those up there. What do you think so far? Are you liking these ideas? So that would have been for these two. Kind of any combination of greens that you like. Thank you, Jane. Almost choked myself. I was so excited that somebody liked it. Thank you. Barb likes the green. Mary likes it. Let's see. Thank you. Glad you like it. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, the paper. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the rose gold and rose gold. Yeah, that's the paper. It's in the annual catalog. And then let's look at doing this little bit darker shade. So that's kind of this look, the darker greens. And no, that's all right. We'll just do it on the white paper. That's fine. I was going to do it on a die cut, but I think you get a fuller effect with the bigger piece. Let's see. Any other comments? Yes, any color, you're right. Any shades of green, whatever you have, just play. Just play with it. Get out some scraps and play with it till you find colors that you like. Oh, and that was a little tip. On some of these, what I did was I wrote down, like Granny Apple and Parakeet, I wrote it on the back so that if I couldn't remember once I made 20 of these, then I could go back and look. Thank you, everybody. I'm glad you like them. I'm glad. All right, so let's look at this one. And I did write it down. Mossy Meadow and Spruce with some garden green. So there we go. You can do whatever you want. So we have Mossy Meadow and Shaded Spruce and some garden green. So you can mix and match and do whatever. Now, let's see. Garden green. Wait, Mossy Meadow. That's what I said, right? Mossy. Mossy Meadow will be our lighter. And kind of, right, hop, skip, and a jump, rock and roll around on the Shaded Spruce. And let's see what that one looks like. It's going to be beautiful. Oh, look how gorgeous. That is like such classic Christmassy look, don't you think? I think that's beautiful. And then let's do one with a little bit of garden green so that we can check out the difference. So let's see, with garden green, I think we'll skip the mossy. Let's I don't know. You could do whatever. Let's see what this looks like. So garden green and some Shaded Spruce for the rock and roll. Let's check that out. Oh, they're very close. But I love the richness of that. That's nice and beautiful and bold. So those two are awfully close. But, again, whatever combinations you have, whatever you'd like to use, maybe, what if we added some Mossy Meadow to this? Oh, that's pretty. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's gorgeous. Do you ever give yourself encouragement while you're stamping? Tell yourself that it's beautiful. I do, because nobody else is here. Nobody cares. That's beautiful. Love that. In fact, let's put it on this one too, because I just think that's really, really pretty. So this is the Mossy Meadow that I'm adding to this. Sometimes there are greens that I think don't necessarily go together, but in a case like this, I really think you can just mix and match till your heart's content, and you can just keep adding whatever you want to add to that. I think that's really beautiful. Oh, Dawn says the best. Thank you. Yeah, Cottage Wreaths. It's on page 59 in the holiday catalog from Stampin' Up. Wow, I'm really, really loving these darker greens here. And I think the fun thing is, if you were going to make, whatever, 40, 50, 100, 300, whatever, Christmas cards, you could just play and make them different, right? They don't have to be all specifically, one one thing, right? I really think that that's super duper pretty. I did want to show you this greeting. It is from Ringed with Nature. And I really love this on here. So I think when I finish up these cards, I'm going to stamp them with that one. I think that's so pretty. I really love it. And let me show you some tips here. If you don't have red rhinestones, I'm going to show you something I did. I colored a whole sheet of elegant faceted gems. So you might kind of remember there, they have a clear white, a frosted white, and this kind of sorry to say odd, but it's, I don't know if it's petal pink. I'm not sure exactly in the middle. I just took my Stampin' Blends and I colored a whole sheet of them, all different colors, because I just wanted different sizes. Here, the red rhinestones are all one size and they're beautiful. But when you color the large and the small gems with your Stampin' Blends, you get all different colors. And I think that's just super pretty. So if you were to use a red bow on here, you could also go kind of brighter, or you could do the gold or the rose gold, you know, whatever you love. Then you can kind of pick up on those colors, and you can just, the beauty of this is you can color as many as you need. You don't have, like, let's say 100 red rhinestones. You can make 6 red rhinestones or 12 and be done. So I think that's a fun tip for you. This was the flower resin shapes that I used on this, on the spring one. And on the red, white, and blue, I used the solid faceted gems. I just love to go through all my gems and just, you know, play and pull things out and recolor them. It's just, I think it's fun. And then this packet, it comes with these cute die cut leaves and the gold gems, or excuse me, amber gems. These are beautiful for your fall cards, for the fall colors. So just a few little extras there for you. So let me catch up. The dot paper for the bow, it's the Christmas, Sweetest Christmas, is that what it's called? It's the other side of the stripe. So you can see I just cut out a whole bunch of bows from that dotted paper. But, you know, any polka dot paper would be totally great. But I thought it was really cute on, it just like spruced that up a tiny bit. And the paper in the background of here is the festive foils. Let me show that to you in the catalog, because I think this paper is going to just be one of the things that gets completely missed. Page 31 right here, festive foils. It's this package of 3. Now, I think this is the paper that we used when we made a whole bunch of tags about a month ago, and I like it because it's white on the other side. So remember that we made folded tags. They're white on the inside and colored on the outside. That was this paper. So you may already have this, but I love that paper. So that's the background of this one. Thank you, Joanne. Thanks, Deb. Let's see, any other? Yes. All seasons. That's what I was trying to kind of show with this set, was the 4-season ability, or any holiday or whatever. I think it's really, really neat. So let's just look at those again before I show you those bonus cards. And if you have questions, we'll go over those. I lost my white envelope. Is that it? That's not it. Okay, it's all right. So we have spring and summer and fall or autumn and winter with the Cottage Wreath stamp set. And then we only used the die for the bow. So if you had a bow punch or a different bow die, you wouldn't need the whole bundle if you didn't want it to make these cards. And that you could just tie like ribbon, you know, or twine. It doesn't even have to be a die cut bow. But now let me show you the bonus cards that I kind of started with this and added some of the die cut wreaths to these. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Oh, and no problem. Yeah, we just finished all this. I'm just going to show a couple bonus cards and then we're done. So feel free to watch the replay. I am glad you like this, everybody. Thank you. And by the way, if you haven't already, be sure that you've clicked like or love if I'm sharing anything of value with you, if you're enjoying this. And then if you watch the replay or if you can leave a comment, that really helps because social media then says, oh, somebody likes what she's sharing. And that really helps me. So I do appreciate it when you do that. Thank you so much. You're welcome, Lisa. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thanks, Kelly. Oh, I'm so glad that you like these. So let me show you what inspired me to just kind of start with this bundle. I received this card from one of the lovely, amazing stampers in our Love to Stamp group. Her name is Susan, and she sent me this card, and I could see that in the background was the stamped wreath, and on top was the die cut wreath. And I thought, I really love this, so let me start playing. So the first step is that if, let me find one that we did. Okay, if you just stamp that wreath that we started with and you don't do anything else to it and you add a die cut over it, you can't see the stamped wreath anymore. I mean, maybe a teeny bit, but you really can't see it. And it really doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter like what color you use. You just can't see the wreath behind it. So that's when I started to add the extra little sprigs that we did around the outside, trying to make it a little bit larger. Where was that? Oh, here, this one that Tammy loves. Let's bring that one out. And let's bring out a green one. So if you make that wreath a little bit larger, and then you use one of the die cut pieces, and you lay it on top, then you can see the wreath and the die cut. So let's see. That one would look pretty as well. But I realized quickly, oh, all right, so that's what you have to do. You have to make it the wreath a little bit fuller in order to put a die cut piece on top of it. So I started die cutting all of these wreaths with I just picked random pieces of designer paper. So look at all these different pieces. Some of them are in the Rustic Harvest, and some of them were from the Celebrate Everything Hostess set. And you can see here by those holes that it's this wreath piece and this wreath piece. And that is what I just started randomly die cutting. And yes, if you're wondering, it just about killed me to cut out of this piece, but the results are gorgeous. So I did it. Because it's just paper and we can buy more, right? Right. Well, that's what I told myself. Okay, so step one then was just start die cutting wreaths. Just have fun, be brave, keep cutting, keep die cutting, just keep die cutting. Play with all the colors, see how they turn out, figure out what we want to do. Look at all these, aren't they fun? So many different looks and ideas. So this one that I said, yes, it was killing me to cut up that piece of paper, but look how interesting that comes out. Isn't it beautiful? And then this was from the same piece. Isn't that gorgeous? Now you could take a piece of like white or maybe crushed curry or something and like add colors. You could stamp on it. You could use a brush. You could use a dauber. You could spritz it. You could kind of create this, but I just wanted to see what it looked like by just die cutting all these fun different pieces out. And so that's how I started with this next set of cards. And these, wanted to just show you, I die cut out of this piece from Rustic Harvest. So that becomes your lightest color, the yellow that you see there. And then I took let's see if I can find, I took a spritzer. I put rubbing alcohol and Cajun Craze re-inker in it, shook it up, and just randomly spritzed these wreaths. I didn't want them solid. I still wanted to see a lot of the yellow. And then I did that flicking thing that I just showed you, where you take your marker and you just like flick some extra spots on it. So that's another way that you could kind of alter any one of the more solid colors. Like, let's look at this one. Let's look at, which color should I grab? Let's try dark olive, and let's see. So here's the, I'm not sure if you can see that on camera, but it adds all these great little spots of color to kind of enhance that look. So there's that little tip. All right, so now you're like, get on with it. What did you do with these? Let me show you. And I think these two were Tammy's favorites, I should say. Oh, two. No, these two. So remember we stamped the fall colors with pumpkin pie and Cajun Craze. Oh, found my white envelope. That's always a good deal. Here we go. So we stamped with pumpkin pie and rock and rolled in Cajun Craze. And then remember how I showed you, add the little sprigs on the outside to make it a little bigger. And then I just took a piece, one of these die cuts, and they do kind of stick to each other, it's all right, and laid it on top, and then came up with this sort of a look. What do you think? I think those turned out really beautiful. Tammy liked these, and I love them too. And look at this one with the little bit of black. That was that piece I showed you. So see how you get a little bit of black, adds a little bit of drama, kind of cool, right? So I loved those. That has the gold, that has the rose gold bow. And then I decided to do a fall look, but start with a green base. So then I added this one, which is the Celebrate Everything fall pattern. This is from the Hostess pack. It's the same piece that's back here. Okay, laid that on top of green. Then I wanted to go for sort of some, oh wait, here's one more. Let me show, oh, two more. Let me show you these two first before we go for the drama. So there's kind of the same idea, green with some of the die cut wreaths overlaid. And these each have 2 wreaths overlaid on top. So if you noticed, there's one that's a little thicker and there's one that has a little more detail, and you can layer those together, which is what I did on these. So one kind of Christmas, one a little more fall. Okay, then I wanted to kind of go for drama because I loved these pieces that had the darker, the black, the more dramatic colors, these. So I went for kind of the rich razzleberry and I think shaded spruce look. And I just thought, ooh, that at first I was like, oh gosh, that's a mess. But then the more I looked at it, I thought it's just really beautiful. It's really dramatic. And I colored with my, I think it's Blackberry Bliss marker onto those elegant gems. And I thought that was really a pretty look. And then the gold bow kind of picks up that yellow. So that was kind of drama, going for drama with that one. Oh, thank you. Sue loves the layered look. Thank you, Mary Ann. I appreciate that. And Juanita loves it. Let's see. Thank you, Polly. Thanks, everybody. I'm glad that you're liking these. So let's see. One more, and then I'll show you the really extra super fun one. So Christmas, this was kind of funny because this die cut wreath is actually those fall leaves, but you can't tell that they're fall leaves on that die cut. So it just gives it kind of the red and green festive look for a Christmas one. I just was cracking myself up. I just love these. I could not stop. All right. And then I hope you already have the witch hat punch because it's sold out and it's not coming back. But here's your Halloween version with all those dramatic colors and a black and white wreath and a witch hat punched and put on top. I thought this one was so much fun. Isn't that cool? I really loved it. Let's see, what is the back? It was this. So it's the Rustic Harvest kind of Cajun craze pattern, but it's the back, and then you get the black and white. So that was like the bonus projects. If you want to die cut these two dies and add them on top of your stamped wreath, I guess you wouldn't really even have to start with a stamped wreath, but I thought it was just really cool. And thanks to Susan, I loved how that turned out on that card that she sent me. Now, those of you who are watching live, or if you are watching a replay very soon after this is live on October 21st, these dies are on back order until I believe the first week in November. So sorry, I work really far ahead. I get things going for my lives. I get projects ready for my blog. I had these already in the works, and then they went on the low inventory unorderable list. So I apologize. And I know it's frustrating if you can't order something right away, but you are going to need to wait about, I don't know, a week or two. But a lot of times these things come in sooner than the date. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll come in sooner. But that's what I have for you. Oh, there's two more bonus projects. So there's one with that little spriggy kind of wreath stamped on there that we tried. And then here's another Christmas version. So what do you think? Do you like the simpler ones with just the stamping? Or do you like the kind of stepped up ones with the added layer of die cutting? Just curious what you like best. Yes, feel free to watch the replay. We are just ending, but thank you for joining. So glad that you're here. Oh, Lucy likes the Halloween. Oh, Kat, yeah, go ahead and watch the replay. We're just ending. The replay will be up just within seconds of this ending. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Patty. I'm glad you all like the Halloween one. Thanks, Anne. Thanks, Kelly. Oh, Jennifer, you are so sweet. She said, these are some of the most stunning cards I've seen in a long time. The black wreath, oh my goodness. I want to make dozens of wreaths now. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I have lots of supplies ready. And, oh, that reminds me. So I will not be live next week, the 28th, because I will be away on vacation. But I'm bringing all my wreath stuff with me, all of those die cuts. I'm bringing these, sorry for my reach. So these are the ink pads that we just used. These are the ones I'm packing. I'm going to bring these and my wreath stamps, and I am going to make dozens of wreath cards in any of my spare time. Colleen loves the drama. Thank you, everybody. Oh, Lucy, I'm glad that you like the spritzing and the splattering. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you like that. Marcia says Halloween is her favorite. Joanne likes just the stamped ones. Yeah, you don't have to use the dies. That's kind of the beauty of this set, is that you can just enjoy the stamp set. You can combine them, or you can just use the dies. I mean, this is super versatile. So lots of possibilities with this, I think. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. I'm so glad. Yeah, Gail likes the fuller wreath. Yep. Okay, let's see. Dawn says they're all wonderful. How do you say your Faline? I don't know how to pronounce it, but thank you. Thank you for your kind comments. Oh, Greg says choose? No way. Oh, Carolyn, not Greg. Okay, sorry. She loves them all. Thank you. Kathy loves them all. Thank you. Oh, good. Joanne says she got both, so she will be excited to make some cards. I'm so glad. Thank you. I'm so glad that you like these. I really had fun with this, and as you can see, I couldn't stop, and I'm not done yet because I am going to just make a ton more. So in 2 weeks, so let's see, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking up there at my calendar. November 4th will be our next technique class. And just as a reminder, if you came in late, the free PDF download with the instructions for the rock and roll technique will be available on my blog. So on October 22nd, pattystamps.com, you can download this. And if you want to start printing these out or saving them, then by the end of the year, hopefully we will have gone through maybe about 10 or so. And then we will have like a whole collection of techniques. Thanks, Barb. Oh, Jean says she thinks she needs this bundle. I think you do. I think it's beautiful. Thanks, Rosie. Thank you for sharing, Gail. Cindy likes the stepped up. Okay. Awesome. Thank you again so much, everybody, for spending your Friday. Well, I was going to say morning, but it's not morning for all of you. Spending some time with me on Fridays. Or maybe you're watching the replay. That's wonderful as well. Thank you so much. And I will see you all live in 2 weeks. But don't forget, check my blog every day. I have really fun projects coming up on next week. And then all of these cards will be on my blog October 22nd and 23rd. I had to divide it into 2 posts because it's way too many photos. And then I will be hopefully inspiring you with other projects next week. They're all blogged. They're all ready to go. And I am just excited to share all of my Stampin' Up! Projects with you because that's what I love to do. So have a wonderful weekend, everybody. And I will see you all in 2 weeks live. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.